Here's more wrestling news for August 30th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: CM Punk reveals video of 3-hour tattoo cover-up process for heels. Samoa Joe reveals unspoken gentleman's agreement he shared with Brock Lesnar. Gable Steveson declares himself a modern-day Kurt Angle. Details on Edge wanting to push boundaries for the Broodbath on Seth Rollins. Current WWE wrestler shows interest in pursuing acting career. The Rock a virtual lock for WWE WrestleMania role. Keith Lee reportedly being considered for monster heel role. Paige is not finished in the ring. Stephen Amell could see himself wrestling Britt Baker, and more. We are kicking off today with CM Punk, and if the huge reception to his AEW debut has proven anything, it's that Punk remains one of wrestling's most recognizable stars, even 7 years after leaving WWE. Punk's body is adorned in various tattoos, but that ink isn't shared by his heels character Ricky Rabies, which led to the former WWE champion spending a lot of time in the makeup chair. On Instagram, Punk shared a sped-up video of the 3-hour process he has to go through to cover up all his tattoos, and called the makeup team of Jory and Dwayne the real MVPs. When the video is finished, Punk is as ink-free as the day he was born, and while AEW won't cover up the best in the world's ink, his time as Ricky Rabies has led to a lot of time in the makeup chair for heels. Over to WWE now, as Samoa Joe is the first ever 3-time NXT champion, but he's yet to hold the Universal title. That's not for lack of trying, as in 2017, Joe feuded with the then Universal champion Brock Lesnar in a hard-hitting feud to say the least. Meeting at the questionably titled Great Balls of Fire event, their match was a little over 6 minutes long, but Joe has fond memories despite losing the encounter. Speaking to Marty Paddock of the Daily Star, Joe discussed the match and the unspoken gentleman's agreement he had with the Beast. He said, "When Brock shows up for a fight night, he wants to be in a scrap. He wants to go out there and he wants someone who's going to smash someone in the face, and he wants to smash somebody back. Brock knew he had that with me. He understood, and I understood I had to have that with Brock." Lesnar came to Great Balls of Fire for a physical match, and Joe was more than happy to give him one, and perhaps their paths will cross again now that both men are back in WWE. At the Tokyo Summer Olympic Games this year, Gable Steveson won gold in the freestyle wrestling, which impressed a lot of people in WWE. Even before his big win, Steveson was on WWE's radar, and his appearance at SummerSlam has only added weight to the reports that Vince McMahon is actively wanting to sign him. Now Steveson has teased that he's signed a deal with WWE, as he tweeted a photo of himself in a wrestling singlet, calling himself the modern-day Kurt Angle. Angle is, of course, the most successful Olympian to transfer into pro wrestling, having won gold in Atlanta in '96, as well as several world titles in WWE and Impact. The fact that Gable is so openly comparing himself to the WWE Hall of Famer is a strong sign of where he wants to go, especially as UFC's Dana White hasn't been nearly as active in trying to sign him as WWE. Ultimately, Steveson's future is his decision, but with this comparison, his appearance at SummerSlam, and the fact that he's already met Vince McMahon, all signs point to WWE. Over to SmackDown next, as on the go-home show before SummerSlam, Seth Rollins was the victim of a Broodbath, courtesy of Edge. We all know that this segment and Edge's Brood-themed entrance at SummerSlam caused AEW to nix plans for Gangrel, but Tony Khan insisted on paying the wrestling vampire despite not being used on Dynamite. During his Fangin' and Bangin' podcast, Gangrel revealed more from his recent conversations with Edge, saying that the WWE Hall of Famer had planned the Broodbath for 2.5 months, and had to fight hard for the segment to happen because of WWE's PG rating. It was also said that though Edge wanted red blood, WWE refused to let the segment happen, and that's why black blood fell on the former Universal Champion. Edge's mind games certainly paid off, as he not only defeated Rollins at SummerSlam, but was able to fulfill a dream nearly 3 months in the making. Alexa Bliss also won big at SummerSlam, defeating Eva Marie as part of her consistent push as part of the Raw roster. A former women's champion and tag champion, Bliss is one of WWE's most decorated female superstars in recent years, but she also has plans outside of the ring. Speaking to Entertainment Tonight, Bliss discussed following The Rock, John Cena, and Batista into acting, saying, "I would love to see what happens if I go for acting. Like, I've been working with an acting coach for the last 10 months. Everything I'm doing right now, character-base-wise, is a lot of acting and it's a lot of fun, but I would love to try that one day if the cards allow. Bliss added that for now, WWE is her home, but after a year of being one of the company's most unique and dramatic characters, a move to the silver screen is a very real possibility for the former women's champion. There's few wrestlers who have done better in Hollywood than The Rock, whose busy schedule making movies has made him increasingly more difficult for WWE to book. It's been previously reported that WWE is hoping to get the Brahma Bull for this November's Survivor Series, 25 years after he debuted at the same event, but this won't lead to a match at WrestleMania 38 as expected. That's according to Ringside News, who have learned that The Rock isn't being considered for a role at next year's Mania in Dallas, Texas, because he's a virtual lock for WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. WWE would much rather the Great One's star power be used in Hollywood, and though there's no word on who will face, the obvious choice is Roman Reigns. WWE is putting a lot of faith in getting The Rock on board, as it's his speculated feud with Roman Reigns which has saved Jimmy Uso for being punished from his most recent DUI. And though he may appear before WrestleMania 39, the Great One is a lock for the biggest show of 2023. Back to the ring, and after a lengthy hiatus due to a life-threatening heart inflammation, Keith Lee returned to TV last month but has quickly disappeared. Now Lee is wrestling exclusively in dark matches as WWE are trying to decide what's next for the former NXT champion. According to sources, Vince McMahon is considering Lee for a monster heel role on TV, after he recently won a 90-second squash match before SmackDown as a heel. It's also reported that Lee has been getting solid babyface reactions in these dark matches, and that may play into the chairman's decision. For his entire WWE career, Lee has worked well as a face, holding both the NXT and North American titles as a babyface before his main roster call-up, but the Limitless One may soon be embracing his darker side when he returns to TV. Now last week, it was reported that Paige's contract with WWE ends next year, and that she's expected to join AEW when she's able. That's because WWE have been refusing to let her compete once again, despite her neck reportedly being very close to 100%. But now the former superstar is taking matters into her own hands. On Twitter, Paige hinted at her future, saying, "I'm not done yet," with an emoji of an arm flexing, hinting at a possible in-ring return. Paige has always insisted that she'll wrestle again one day, especially after the miraculous returns from retirement of Edge and Daniel Bryan, but so far, WWE doesn't want her back in the ring. For what it's worth, Paige said during a recent Twitch stream that she's not leaving WWE and loves the company, and that her return will be a surprise to the fans. Paige may love WWE, but there's only so much love she can have for a company that won't let her wrestle. And if AEW, Impact, or anywhere else is willing to take a chance on her, Paige will have a very big decision to make when her deal eventually expires. And we're ending with Stephen Amell, who's not just an actor, but a known wrestling fan, even competing at SummerSlam 2015 in tag team action. Teaming with Neville to defeat Stardust and Wade Barrett, Amell's only other professional match saw him lose to Christopher Daniels at All In, and now the Green Arrow is ready to get back in the ring. During a recent live stream with CM Punk, Amell joked about being roughly the same size as Britt Baker, saying that an intergender match would be believable. This got a response from Baker, who said that the match makes sense, and that the last time she saw Amell, he stole her title belt. As for now, Amell is the star of Heels, where he plays Jack Spade, and given the success of the show, a possible Amell-Baker match could happen in a future season if Tony Khan gives the green light for it to happen. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.